The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Carsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And we're back for the first official episode of the season.
Finally, it's so nice to be. It was nice to be back in the park. I know that you've been in the park, your whole entire off season and everything, but the countdown finally went to 0, and it was so freaking good that we lost Evan. Yeah, Evan's still wandering around in the park being like, I'm going to ride Top Thrill 2. And he's still probably riding it right now. Just kidding. No, he's...
Last I heard from him,
a lot of stuff going on.
he sent me a text. He said, stuck on Frontier Trail, phone is about to die. And that was like 4 days ago.
Well, he said that he had stuff going on, but I guess you got a different story. So I was like, oh, well, you must have the exclusive scoop. So if anybody sees Evan, you look out for, if anybody watched the POV, his hair, his iconic hair, and Maya would know all about it. Send us a text and say, hey, Evan, is Evan good or is Evan bad? So he's getting so many laps on Top Thrill 2. Oh, but yeah, so it's just Kyle and I tonight, and I mean, hey, I'm glad I didn't have to start the intro because I can't do what you do. I'm just like, hi, yeah, we're going to talk about stuff and let's go.
Yep.
But anyway, so let's just jump right in. So yeah, opening day obviously was this past Saturday. It was the weather was kind of okay. It was kind of like rainy off on ish, not super crazy rain, but just a little bit.
So typical opening day weather, right?
Almost, because normally typical opening day, you're like, burr, it's cold. And actually it wasn't burr, it was cold, at least for me. A lot of people were walking around in shorts, and also they were just enjoying, no hoodies and things like that. Like it was just kind of like where you were at in the park. Like if there's a lot of shade, you might want to have a hoodie, but you could totally swing with no hoodie and stuff, which was pretty cool too. But yeah, so I think it was a great opening day. As far as everyone always griping about like this ride's not open or this ride's broken or this da. Like I thought it was almost like a pretty flawless day. Like I know Top Thrill 2 had a little bit of downtime and stuff, which whatever. It's kind of normal and stuff, but because it's a brand new ride. But all the other rides, Raptor was open and Gatekeeper was open, and all your Valraven was open.
Were there any major coasters that weren't open?
I'd say probably the most major coaster that was open or wasn't open was Gemini. I don't know what's going on with that. I know that when we were at the preview days, because they were having us all park in the Gemini lot, they were working on something and they had like a crane over there. And I think Evan said that they were working on some kind of, I don't know if they were working on track pieces or if they were working on like the walkway or something. I don't know. The trains are on the track and everything. So I'm just curious to see if it just needs to, just get its yearly, inspection.
Yeah, it might still need to be commissioned.
Yeah. So I mean that's the only thing that I noticed, because Mine Ride was open, Maverick was open, Steel Vengeance, and it was a solid busy day, especially for opening day. Like I liked that when they rolled out the wait times for Top Thrill 2, they literally have it on wheels so they can move it around and stuff and everything, because that line is not going to be able to fit that crazy line. And so like I think it goes all the way up to like 5 hours on the wait time I posted on our Facebook page. But it's like, it's crazy. It goes down I think to like 1 hour, and I think it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is insane. But I heard, at least I didn't see anything. I think it was about like 3 hours was the max wait time I think on opening day. But I'm curious, once, we get in like the bigger months in the 4th of July area, things like that, it might get a little a little crazy. So
I saw a picture on Twitter, and I don't know if this was opening day or maybe it was Sunday or anyway, recently. And the sign said 4 hours.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it tricked up just a little bit to 4 hours and whatever. Because I know maybe they were having some downtime and they were just kind of figuring that all in and stuff and everything. But man, is that I hate to beat a horse, but man, is that still a phenomenal ride? Like it still takes the wind out of you. It still gives you the butterflies. It doesn't get old. Like it just, I don't know. Like I found myself sometimes like when you're up on the spike and you're going like, all the way up or whatever, if you just kind of like lean over to the left when it kind of pauses for just a second, if you're on the left or the right hand side or whatever, and you could kind of see up the spike and stuff, and it's really eerie and you're like, whoa, I'm like really high. You can see Power Tower, and it's crazy to even look over to the left hand side if you're sitting on the left hand side of the train, and you can see a little tiny baby Millennium Force like 300 feet. So it's crazy. It's good stuff. I don't know, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of downtime, and also the food locations and also the staffing and everything. I know a lot of people have been really critical. Like the parks seem to be pretty good with staffing for the most part. Like I didn't really notice a whole lot of, and we've called it out before. We're not trying to just put, icing on a cake that doesn't need icing kind of thing. Like, I didn't see anything. Evan didn't see anything. We rode a ton of rides. I think we rode maybe 10 to 12 rides or something that day. We went from open to close, so we did early entry and stuff and everything, but good stuff, really was.
Well, we've been talking about Top Throw 2 on this podcast for about 2 years now. So
yeah.
How was the rest of your opening day? What'd you do? What'd you see? What'd you eat?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go through almost like a vlog-ish per se. But the first stop I got to do was obviously went to the front gift shop because I was like, ooh, I wonder what's new and everything. And they have a bunch of new stuff for like Snoopy and everything. They're celebrating, the 2024 season and everything. And they've got a really cool Snoopy hoodie that actually looks like almost like a comic book or whatever. It's got gray and stuff and everything in there. It was really, really nice. They also had a bunch of different shirts and everything with the Cedar Point skyline on there with different colors. Thought that was really cool. They also had, if anyone likes the jerseys and things like that, they had a jersey that said Cedar Point on the front and it was buttoned down, and then on the back it would say it said Cedar Point 24, and the front it says Cedar Point. That was kind of cool. They had some new ride shirts. It's a triangle design. So, and they got a ton of rides. And they're all in the scheme with different colors and everything, but it still matches. So it's they have Gatekeeper, they have a Gemini one, they have obviously Top Thrill, they have a Millennium Force one, they have a Raptor one, which was nice to see. They have a Maverick, and I think that was just about it for there. But different colors, different schemes on those shirts and everything too. Walking down the midway a little bit, we saw the old Toffs area, which I was kind of sad because I was where I reported that the cow was missing, and so it looks like the changeover is going to be to Blue Bunny or something or whatever. It's not going to be specific Toffs specifically or whatever. So there's also that. They also have a nice. I do want to report. This is breaking news. Not really breaking news anymore, but anyway, all the freestyles, we were talking about the freestyle machines being kind of older and they had the push buttons and things like that. And we saw the ones that had the screens where you just pretty much tap the screen to dispense. Every single one of the freestyle stands at the park is brand new, all brand new. So that's really nice to see.
So follow-up question on that from me.
Yep.
Down here in sunny Florida, we have those freestyle machines at all of the parks, and normally there's a bank of 4 or 5 of them, like they have at all the other parks. And down here we have the option of regular ice or the crunchy nugget ice that you get from Sonic or Chick-fil-A. Is that an option?
You know what? I didn't even play with the ice, but I don't think so because How do you change the ice option? Do you go into options on the screen or something?
No. It's like one machine has like a specific type of ice. The other machine has a specific type.
I will have to pay attention. I've never really been an ice enthusiast, but maybe this year I will.
And like they have like labels like at I'm thinking like Wawa, like our convenience store chain down here.
Yeah.
Like they'll have two, right?
There was no labels.
And it's labeled on the actual dispenser. It'll say either crushed or a nugget or cubed.
Wow, that would be interesting. I mean, I don't even know if Cedar Point's even thought of that. They'd have to buy brand new ice makers to accommodate that. That'd be kind of expensive.
Well, there's my $1 million idea, Cedar Point.
Coming in 2025.
I tell you want to get me on a plane back to your park. I don't need a fancy roller coaster. I need nugget ice in the freestyle machines.
Oh, I love it. That's good. All right, so moving on from that, they had some really cool anniversary keychains. Hopefully more's coming, like shirts or magnets or something or whatever, but they had a Raptor 30th anniversary keychain, which is really cool. It actually says like 30th anniversary on it. And then they also had a Blue Streak 60th anniversary, like a tiny little medallion and things like that hung off of there and stuff. That was really cool. They got new magnets this year. They have like, they like when you feel them, they're not flat. They have like, I don't know, they're perforated. Is that would that be it? When they're like
lithograph almost?
Like you could touch it and you could feel the grooves in it.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So yeah, probably didn't translate well on here, but yeah. And then also we got the GV art and design. They have a bunch of brand new shirts and everything. I finally got that company right. Took me so many years to figure that out. They got a nice little like shirt and everything. It's got like Millennium Force, Power Tower, Valraven, the Giant Wheel, Steel Vengeance. You got the Cedar Point front gate, and then they've got like Millennium Force, like in the very tiny bottom. Another picture of Millennium Force, but they have an Ohio with like a little Millennium Force. This is America's roller coaster on it. It's pretty cool. I like that. They also have like a Cedar Point one that literally just says Cedar Point on the back. Justin would like this. They got a bunch of new mugs and things like that where they have all the ride logos on the mug. So it's a white mug and it's got literally Magnum XL 200, Steel Vengeance, Gemini, Top Thrill 2, Maverick, Cedar Point logo, like all Raptor. I mean, all the different ride logos are actually on this mug, which is pretty cool.
I'm sure Justin would love that, but I don't know if he'd use it. I mean, he still uses his 10-year-old CP Rundown mug.
Yeah, right. He's the only one because it was a test or whatever, and I was like, oh, and he's like, I'll buy it. And I'm like, okay. So it was a test, so I think he spent like $30 on that mug, and every now and again he'll be like, got the mug. They do actually. Speaking of freestyle, I did miss this. They do have a brand new limited edition. I would assume it's limited edition. It's called Top Thrill Chill. And it is a thrilling mix of orange, cherry, and limeade flavors.
Ooh! And
pretty much it's like with mellow yellow and all that fun stuff. Evan and I tried it. We liked it. It was really good. So if you're at the park, click on it's in the very right corner of it. If you click on it, you can get that regular or you can get it sugar free, which is nice.
I would love to enjoy that with some nugget ice.
Walking down the midway, they have a brand new. They actually had that photo area and stuff. Like what Evan and I were thinking it was going to be. Mm-hmm. So that little gift shop that used to be there, it was kind of like it was open a little bit. They would have like little trinkets and maybe some snacks. And I think later on in the seasons, they would have like light up stuff that you can buy. Mm-hmm. Well, now that is a whole entire mini like Photo Express kind of thing. So if you get your number from Top Thrill over in the photo area, grab your phone and everything, you can go over to that building and you can actually say, oh, my number was 675. They can look it up and they can print it off for you or put it on your fun pics, which is nice. Or if you go to the park wearing sandals and things like that you can't ride specifically like that on Top Thrill 2 with sandals, you can purchase a pair of sandals that are approved from there that are all like wrapped up and ready to go. No pun intended, but
that's great.
They have those there. Obviously, they have the pretzel stand or whatever that has that brand new refresh stand or whatever that we talked about last week. So that was nice. It was open too. There was no line for drinks or anything like that. And we have the brand new bathrooms over there too. We went over to the Prestige area. So the Prestige Lounge. Also, you can purchase a ticket for the Prestige Lounge if you don't have a Prestige pass and you're just going to be there for the day. Completely redesigned. I talked about it a little bit from my tour, but you could see that it was brand new. It almost looks like a wooden church per se, not like crazy church vibes, but really, really nice wood. It's nice and stained brown. But what's really nice is obviously, you get your snacks, you get your chips, cookies, whatever you want. The fountain, the drink fountain of like pop and everything like that is there. You can't just willy-nilly just go up there and fill up whatever cup. They'll ask you, hey, do you have a drink plan? You're like, yeah. They're like, okay, cool. Can we scan your pass so you can get a cup? And we're like, sure. Scanned our pass. We got a Coca-Cola cup. And we were able to fill it up with whatever we wanted, which was nice. Ton of outlets to plug in your cell phone if you need to recharge, things like that. They got brand new cushiony chairs. And then they also have like the TVs that are hanging from the actual pavilion, the area kind of thing. So that's probably the best way to describe it, is kind of like a pavilion. Kyle, you'll be interested in this. Over by the VIP area, they've got a 21 and older. I'm sorry, it's called 21 and colder. And it's pretty much just adult drinks and adult beverages.
Oh, I saw this. This is at the old Dragon's Inn, right? Over by Iron Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. So that food place, Dragon's Inn, where you can get like cheese sticks and I
think they used to have like, it was like chicken fingers, cheese on a stick, hot dog on a stick. I think that was it. They didn't serve a lot.
I think so. Yeah, that's gone. This replaced it. It's not open yet. I'm curious to see, but they're going to have a bunch of different cocktail drinks, different sizes too. So you can get like a 20-ounce frozen cocktail for like $18.99. Currently today, as of what is this, May the 6th,
7th. Today's the 7th,
or May the 7th. So $18.99 for a 20-ounce cocktail, $20.99 for a 24-ounce cocktail, or a 32-ounce cocktail for $24.99. And then they also have like a top it off like shot flavors, or they also have a floater. So I'm curious on this, but they're going to have different cocktail, like margarita, spiked lemonade, spiked Coke. There's daiquiris, spiked orange, or pina colada. And you get a cool Cedar Point glass, Cedar Point on it, things like that they were showing on the picture. There's also specific themed cocktails too. There's a Top 2 one. There's an Iron Dragon one. There's a Maverick one and a Steel Vengeance one. So I'm not going to go through all they actually list what's in there.
So,
So
going back to the Prestige Lounge. So you mentioned that you can buy a ticket into it. Do you know how much that is?
The ticket, I believe, runs at $39.99. Okay. At least it was last year. Let me look it up here just to be safe.
And that gets you in and out access all day?
Yeah, that gets you in and out access all day. If you go to cedarpoint.com, click on VIP experiences, and then you can purchase a VIP lounge access.
I think I'm probably going to have to do that because all of you are Prestige members, but I'm not. So
yeah,
undoubtedly, at some point during the day, everyone's going to say, let's go to the lounge. And I'm going to be like, well.
You'd be like, I guess I'm going to go Red Rougarou. So you guys have fun. Bye. But yeah, so you can purchase a ticket for $39.99, and you'll have unlimited beverages and whatever else you want to. Something like that, you can watch, whatever you want to watch. So
cool,
which is pretty nice. Moving on, the petting, the petting zoo. I don't know what it's called. Cedar,
barnyard.
Whatever it's called. Yes, the barnyard has a little teeny tiny like mini gift shop, I guess you could say. So you can actually purchase like stuffed animals of like churro and like the pigs and the cows and whatever, which is kind of cool. They also have little stickers or whatever, and they have all the animals, like the names and things like that. They also have a churro sticker. I posted that on our Facebook page, and people were like, "Oh, there's a churro sticker. Where? So that was cool. Evan and I got to eat at the farmhouse. Obviously it was still same great food. Obviously steak still on the menu. They do have new this year, chicken pot pie. And it's not like you think. You think you're like, okay, cool. It's gonna be literally in the pie or whatever. It's actually opposite of that. It's literally the stuff that goes inside the actual chicken pot pie, and then they give you a biscuit to go with that. So you kind of like crunch up your biscuit, and then you eat that with it.
That sounds really good.
I haven't personally had it. There's a few people that I've been to the park with, and they said that they had it, and it was phenomenal. So I'm eager to try. I know the park is closed, these Tuesdays, Wednesdays, the first 2 weeks in the season, but I'm gonna go there on Thursday maybe and have some chicken pot pie. Also, Evan, we got to try Evan's the broccoli casserole. They did have that, like what they had at
from Winter Chill Out.
It was so freaking good. It tastes exactly the same. It's good. I love it. It's good stuff. The Steel Vengeance gift shop is still got some new merch and things like that. Definitely some new T-shirts. Another jersey, by the way. So if you're a huge Steel Vengeance fan, like jerseys, they seem to be going with some jerseys or whatever. I like it because it says Cedar Point on the back, and it says 18, obviously, because that's the year that it opened, in I believe 2018, which is crazy to think because I feel like it was just yesterday that it opened. On the front, it says Steel Vengeance. Or if you're not a big fan of that, they also have this really nice hoodie that Evan was marveling over because it's actually got it's got black outline of the track below on the hoodie and stuff all the way around 360 degrees on the hoodie, and then on the front it says Steel Vengeance, and it's just a really nice quality hoodie. Evan and I were able to try our ices out for the first time. Normally we go to the left at Cedar Point because normally that's like where you go and get your normal fountain drink and stuff, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to get an icy. So I was like, I got to go to the right instead of the left. So there was that. I think we had cherry limeade ices, which was something different. Obviously ices, you can't go wrong with that. There's a ton of buttons this year at the button stand. Holy cow. I think, don't quote me on it, but I think Evan said there was 150 new buttons to come in this year. They have right. If we have a group page called I can't remember, if you look up Cedar Point a button collection on Facebook, you'll be able to check into that. I took very high up close pictures of the sets and things like that if you want to follow along and see what you need and see what they look like, because they're very they've got Cedar Point, like the Cedar Point Decades. They got Top Thrill 2 sponsor series, the water ride series. They got mood series. So like if you're feeling nutty, they have a feeling nutty one with like a little what is it? Caramel apple with some nuts on it. Or you could there's a pizza face and it says hot stuff, So it's kind of, I liked it. It was a little play on their on the logos and stuff. And then obviously like your anniversary ones, the things like that normally get there. And then also shout out to everyone that came to our group photo. We had a ton of people. Kyle, I'm not exactly sure if you got to see how many people were in the photo, but there was a bunch. And they were like, where's Kyle? Where's Kyle? I was like, he didn't make it. They're like, oh man. And then they're like, wait, are you going to buy him his pants, his pajama pants? I was like, no.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask that. Is there a package in the mail for me?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, no, it's I did do diligence though. I did find out that they're like either $45 or $50.
I know,
something like that.
They're pretty steep, but they're so comfortable.
Apparently. So I'm like, you're making me. I'm like, I don't really wear pajama pants to bed, but I'm like, because I'm just a hot sleeper. Like I'll just be sleeping and throw everything off and just be like, ah.
Yeah.
But
see,
like,
I'm not. I wear those and a shirt and normally a hoodie, and then I have like 8 or 9 blankets and a comforter and.
But yeah, so shout out to everyone that came out to our group photo. It was a huge success. I know a lot of people said that they wanted to make it. I met one of the guys last night. Can't remember his name. Really cool dude. He's from Toledo. If you're listening, shout out to you. And I got to ride Top Thrill 2 last night, very last ride, where we were at the very front, literally rode the very front of the train, just out of coincidence. Like, they were like, oh, we need one. I was like, well, I'm single and by myself. So anyway, he's like, dude, I'm so mad that I couldn't make the group photo. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, it's all good. He's like, yeah, I was stuck on the Top Thrill 2 line. And then by the time I got out, it was too late. I'm like, all good, man. He's like, it's really crazy. He's like, I'm a big fan of the page or whatever. And I got to sit next to you, the president of CP Rundown. I was like, hey, it's cool. So he shook my hand. And like I said, really nice guy. Wrapping up on the merchandise, they have the new Amazement. It's called the Amazement Park. Kyle, you're interested in the poster, but it's from Made to Thrills. Mm-hmm. It's like a sunset with it looks like a kid in the family and an old station wagon-ish. Yep. Looking at the new looking at the new skyline with Top Thrill 2 towers in there. They also have that in poster form too that Kyle is wanting really bad.
Yeah, whenever I do finally make it to the park, God, I'm gonna spend a lot of money. Yeah,
they definitely have a ton of merch, and if you're looking for kid stuff and everything, like the Peanuts at the Point, there's a ton of different stuff. There's all kinds of Snoopy ones. There's Coasting Through Life, and you could see Snoopy and Charlie Brown and Woodstock, and the coaster in the background that says Cedar Point on it. That's a pretty cool one. Or they also have adult sizes too. And then also they had Peppermint Patty. They have a Peppermint Patty one where her hair's all messed up and everything, and it says coaster hair, don't care. So they got pretty creative there. And then I actually saw yesterday this brand new these brand new shirts. Let me see if I can find it. By the way, the Funway Arcade and Mirror maze got completely redone. There's no more arcade games in there because it was kind of weird that they had the arcade and they just kind of put the other ones there. It's literally, if you love claw games, which I was able to play probably 1,700 of those at IAPA. If you want to play claw games, that's your spot. That whole entire arcade now is literally all the toy boxes and the claw games and things like that. Every single one. I haven't posted the photos on Rundown yet, but I'm gonna post them soon and you'll be able to see it. So, and then I guess wrapping up is they came out with a new T-shirt series. It looks like where it's all highlighter colors on the shirts and stuff, where it's really, really, really bright orange. It would almost look like it would glow in the it would almost look like it would glow with a black light, really fiery. But they have one for Valraven. They have one for Top Thrill 2. That's all in a black shirt, really nice. And it's like a cartoony kind of feel. They have one for Millennium Force. Another, like I said, they're real bright magenta, crazy colors. They also have one for Gatekeeper, and things like that. But I think that's rounding out everything that we did. Huge shout out to the ride crew, obviously Cedar Point, for getting the coasters up and everything, and and Tony Clark for obviously his birthday's today, so shout out to Tony and his birthday on our podcast, but also him ordering the weather, which was cool, and I know that we're still waiting, and Kyle, hopefully you'll be able to make it, but we're still waiting on the details and ticket information and everything for Coaster Mania. I know it's on June 7th. So we're about a month away, and they still haven't sold tickets. And I'm just so I'm sure the park's feeling that too, because they're but maybe they're just hey, this thing's going to sell out in minutes. Let's not worry about it. We'll throw them up on Friday or something and, call it a day. But, so Kyle, do you have any questions? I know I threw out a lot of information, but
I'm trying.
And if anybody has any questions, feel free to email the page and we'll gladly ask them. But I was gonna say, Kyle, you have any information or anything?
I'm trying to think.
Questions about what
every time I saw something this weekend, I would ask somebody. So I'm trying to think if there's anything that I saw that I never got a chance to ask. I don't think so.
I know that I rode Power Tower again on the drop side, and I was just because it's so short compared to that darn spike. It's literally sitting 500 feet in front of it, and you're oh, it literally Power Tower literally goes like as high as like the as like when you start like going cresting up the spike, like literally it's like meh, and then you're like, so.
Were there any did either of you or did anyone eat at Farmhouse? Or not Farmhouse, I'm sorry. Grand Pavilion?
We did. So we ate really, really late in the day on opening day, and I don't think they were ready for the influx of, because sadly we went on, maybe there was more on the other side, but we were limited to pretty much the steak and chicken and I think drumsticks, or something, whatever. They didn't have the fish or anything, which I was hoping for. Oh, they also had the funnel cake shrimp too, but they were out of the fish on my side. I don't know if they had it on the other side. I just didn't bother to check because we were kind of exhausted by then, and it was like, oh hey, by the way, the park closes at 8:00, and we're like, boo in the beginning, but then we're like, yay at the end, because we're like, we can go home and go to sleep and do it all over again. So
yeah,
I do know that they are pushing really hard on the pass perks and things like that. So if you go like I think like up to 4 times, you get like a lot of pass perks. You can get like 15%, like if you're prestige pass, you can get like 15% off of merchandise and all kinds of things off of like pretzels and fries and things like that. Look up Cedar Point on Google with pass perks, and you'll be able to see the page that brings up everything. And then also real quick, they did have the single fast lanes. So I do want to report, at least currently as of May 7th, that you can have a prestige pass and you get the one-time fast lane. And Evan and I were kind of like, do you get fast lane plus rides or is it regular? Happy to report that it's literally every ride. So we were able to use our prestige one-time fast lane each visit, and we went on Top Thrill too. So
nice. That
was pretty cool. And then yesterday when I was in the park, they showed you have to scan into the park with the app for it to actually load up onto the app itself, where it says it gives you the quote unquote the rundown of prices of the single use fast lane that you can purchase. This was on a Sunday. Park was busy. It was nice to see the park was, this was on Monday. I didn't go on Sunday, but I went on Monday, and the park was actually really busy. I'm going to call that the Top Thrill effect. I think the park's going to be pretty busy this year, just because everyone is wanting to ride that ride again, and they're hearing everybody's rave reviews, and they're like, let's book it. But anyway, and these fluctuate throughout the day. Depends on what kind of day you're visiting, whatever. But this was at about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So if I wanted to purchase a single fast lane ticket or whatever for Raptor, it was $9. Steel Vengeance was $15. Maverick was $15. Valraven was $15. Millennium Force was $15. And Magnum was $7.50. But they did have Top Throw 2 on there. You want to guess how much it was?
Yes, I do. $24.99.
That's a good guess. It was actually $30.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, but if you're in a time crunch, this is why I love the single fast lane, because then I'm like, you know what? I don't need fast lane for Corkscrew and whatever. I'm like, let me get on the big ones, and then figure out my day from there. But like $30, I know that I'm gonna get on the ride, and the $30, like literally, they're moving that fast lane so freaking fast that I saw people on Sunday or whatever. Like the line was like 20 minutes or less. Like it was really cooking. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I actually really like the idea of single use fast lanes, because like you said, going to the park, you don't necessarily need a fast lane for Gemini or Gatekeeper or whatever. But then you get to the back of the park and Maverick's an hour and a half and Steel Vengeance is 2 hours, and it's like, man, I don't want to spend the full $199 on Fastlane Plus. Let me shell out a $20 and jump on Maverick.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And then you're just like, boom. And then that could be, it could be like they're running like less trains or something. So the whole park is kind of like deadish. So you're able to get on Steel Vengeance, Top Thrill 2, Raptor and whatever. But Maverick is having some issues, and it's only got 4 trains instead of the 6. Mm-hmm. And you see that the line is like 2 hours, and then you plop down a $20 bill, and you're like, cool, you know what? I'll be able to get on this ride within 15, 20 minutes or so, and that. So,
Yeah.
And it seems that the app is updated through the actual iPads and things like that, which is going to be really nice. They don't have to worry about, having to call Park Central and having them change the signs and however it was before. Like, it's literally like that. So hopefully they'll be able to dial in fast lane lines and keep them at like more of a minimum, and things like that. But also, it also makes me think, like, maybe they'll come out with another a tier of fast lane. Maybe they'll come out with fast lane, like, Premier or Premium or something, where it's like literally all your big coasters, like your Steel Vengeance and or maybe a bundle or something where it literally bundles all those ones into, like, say $60 or $70 or whatever, and you can get all the big 5 coasters or big 6 coasters or whatever they would want to do instead of getting all those coasters. So. Good stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty much all on the front. Like, I can't wait to go back, obviously, again, and it was a good experience. I can't complain. I was able to try, like I said, I was able to have my icy, so I was happy as a clam.
I'm very excited to get back to the park whenever that is. I can't wait.
Well, hopefully, Coaster Mania.
Yeah,
everyone's cheering for you. At the group photo, they were like, "Make sure Kyle comes. Make sure he comes." I'm like, "He's got to ride it." I'm like, "I know." I'm like, his family members are telling him that it's good, and he's just like, meh.
Yeah. To be fair, I really did want to go this past weekend. It was just I had work commitments that I had to be there for.
It's all good. Work calls, and I get it. But we're gonna switch gears just a little bit, Kyle. I know that the reason Kyle was I think we recorded when you were on the cruise ship or whatever, but you went on a cruise ship a few weeks ago, and we finally have a little bit of open air to air. You want to talk a little bit about what you got to do and stuff?
Yeah. So I'll preface this by saying previous to this, I'd never been on a cruise before. Probably the closest thing I've ever done was when I was in Branson, Missouri, visiting Silver Dollar City. We did like the showboat, like the dinner cruise thing, where you get on the boat and they feed you dinner and there's a show and that's it. But anyway, I was fortunate enough to spend my almost my birthday, not quite, but almost my birthday, aboard the Disney Wish, Disney's newest cruise ship.
Nice.
Yeah, so we took a 3-night Bohemian cruise from April 19th to the 22nd. So we got on the boat on Friday morning-ish around like 11 a.m. And then we got off the boat on Monday the 22nd at like 7 a.m. Like super early.
Good God.
And then my birthday was the next day, the 23rd. But oh my God, I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I loved it. So I guess you gave your whole like vlog style report, so I can kind of maybe look back through my pictures and see if I can find.
I was going to say, I've never been on a cruise ship. Always wanted to, just have never done it. But how was the like the unlimited? Like, I think you get like unlimited food, right? Like,
yeah. So
how was that?
So the way it works on Disney, I'm assuming this is the same on other, like, Royal Caribbean and Carnival and everything, is that all of your what I would call quick service food, so like, you walk up, you get food, whatever, is included. So on the Wish, that was a place to get burgers, a place to get like really good Mexican food, like a Chipotle style cantina. There was a barbecue place, a pizza place, all that stuff. And that stuff is all up on deck 10, like the pool deck, like with, with the pool and the water slides and everything. And then there's a buffet, a big buffet up on deck 12, called Marceline Market, that serves breakfast and lunch. That is also free. And then every night you have a signature dining. So on the Wish, it is 1923, which is themed after like old school Hollywood. Arendelle, a Frozen dining adventure, which is obviously themed to Frozen, and World of Marvels, which is like like Ant-Man and Wasp and Captain America and all that stuff. And that's where you go and you know, they'll have like filet mignon and like all these really, really, really good dishes. That is included as well. In addition to that, you also have 24-hour room service that you get for free. So like if you're like chilling in your room at like 2 a.m. and you're like, oh, I want a steak or I want an ice cream bar.
Please tell me you did that. Please tell me you like ordered room service at least once.
I did once, but I didn't get a meal. I got a Mickey ice cream bar.
Oh my! You're like, oh,
yeah.
I'm just sitting in my broken up Steel Vengeance pajama pants. Like, I want a Mickey ice cream bar, and you're just like, cool.
Yeah. So that's all of the and then soft drinks are included too. You know, water, soda, juice, any of that stuff. And then so is like snacks, like popcorn, pretzels, whatever you want. So in addition to that, then they have 2 like upscale dining restaurants up on the top deck. Those are reservation only, and they are not included in the price of your cruise. So everything there is a la carte. In addition to that, Disney does not have a alcohol package like other cruise ships. So you're paying for your alcohol if you drink. But other than that, like, you're good. Like, you don't have to worry about food.
That's awesome.
So we got on the boat on...
I'd get blacklisted from ordering too much room service. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, "Oh, I feel like I want a peach sundae," and then you should have ordered what is it? Your what is it? The banana cream pudding or whatever you like.
Oh yeah, banana pudding. I should have.
Yeah. You should have been like, "I want 3 of those."
Well, it's weird too because like at the Signature Dining, it's all like Michelin star level food. Like it's phenomenal, right? And you'll sit down and you'll order like the first night we were on the boat, right? I got filet mignon. And the guy's like, do you want 1 or 2? And I was like, what? And he's like, well, he's like, you can get whatever you want. He's like, you can order 5 entrees if you want. We're not going to tell you no.
Wow.
So they come around and they ask if you want. Yeah. They come around and they ask if you want like an appetizer and if you want an entree and dessert and everything.
Okay.
So
cool.
I didn't really do any research about how cruising in general works before this trip, like none whatsoever.
Did you get on the boat and like, you know, I picture you having like one of those little wooden walkers or something and like kind of like they do on the Titanic and tap the lifeboat and be like, oh, is this if this ship sinks, is this gonna hold me? Or
So yeah, honestly, you know, I knew what offerings the ship had, but I knew nothing about cruising in general. So we get to the port on Friday the 19th. We went out of Port Canaveral. So it was really nice for us, you know, for me, because we just woke up and drove over, and we were there in an hour. I mean, it was awesome. So you pull up, and then you just give your bags to somebody and then leave. Like, they have porters out front that take your bags. And then, you know, you go and park your car. And I didn't realize it was boarding, like, an airline almost. Like you get to the terminal, but then you don't just get to get on the boat. Like they tell you what time to get to the port so that ideally you don't have to wait. But like, you know, you can get to the port whenever, and then it's literally like an airport terminal. Like it's a big terminal, and they're just like,
interesting,
boarding group 2. You're now free to board the ship, and then you just go and walk on the ship. So that was a shock for me. Something I didn't really think about until a few days before the cruise was, we're leaving the country. What do I do about cell phone service? We're going to be at sea. Like, you know, so left the phone on airplane mode the whole time and bought the Wi-Fi, which worked flawlessly.
Good.
I was still able to text people and stay in communication and everything. So we get on the boat, and your staterooms aren't ready when you get on the boat because what they do is the ship pulls into port at like 6 a.m, dumps everybody off at like 7, and then they turn the boat, and then new guests get on and the boat leaves again. So they tell you when you get on the ship, they'll say your stateroom will be ready by whatever time. For us, it was 1:30. So we get on the boat, And the first thing we do is we take the elevator all the way up to the top deck to the big buffet, and we have lunch. And then, we explore the ship a little bit. There was a little stage show, and then it's time to go check into the stateroom. So I was traveling with my family and Ray and her family. So 2 staterooms and everything. And they were really close to each other. So we had a handicap stateroom for my brother, and it was huge. It was crazy big.
Did you have like a little circle porthole or something that you could look out the window?
We actually, so on cruise ships they have like 4 different types of rooms, right? They have an interior room which has no windows. They have a ocean view room, which is the room with a porthole, right? So you can look out. And then they have another type of room called ocean view with veranda, and I guess veranda is just a fancy word for a balcony. Okay. And then they have concierge, which, concierge is like it is everywhere. We had a veranda room, so we actually had a balcony that we could go out on, a private balcony. We could go out and sit on.
So wait, so when you went on the balcony, when you went on it, were you over the water or were you still over the ship?
No, so you were over one of the decks that extended out.
Okay, because I'd be like,
Yeah, no. You were over like the lifeboat deck, essentially.
Okay.
So yeah, that was also my concern, was if I stick my head out, like, am I going to lose my hat and it's going to flail off into the wind?
Bye.
So yeah, we had a very, very nice handicap room. All the doors were automatic, and yeah, I didn't realize how like.
So when you say they take your luggage, do they put it away? Or do they just literally just set it like right at the door? And
so they literally they open everybody's staterooms at the same time. So you get to your stateroom, and your room keys are like, in the little like mail slot right at the door, and your bags are sitting right outside the stateroom, ready for you to take them in.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I was a little like worried about it at first. I was like, what if somebody steals my bag? But then I was like, well, we're on a ship, right? Like, they can't go anywhere.
Where are they going to go?
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't too worried. So we get, we get into the room. The room's awesome. The veranda and everything's super cool. And then I'm trying to remember what we did. I know by that point it was like 2. And then we had the early seating for dinner. So they have 2 seatings. They have a dinner at 5:15 and a dinner at 8:15, and you are assigned one of those times.
Okay.
You're also assigned a table, and it's the same table no matter what restaurant you're in. Like, it's the same table number. And something I didn't know is that you're also assigned a wait staff, like the waiter and waitresses that are assigned to you move with you from restaurant to restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Like, you eat dinner one night, and then the next night you're at a different restaurant, but it's the same wait staff, which is really cool because you get to know them, and they get to learn your preferences, and like they know how to serve you better. So that was really cool.
So even if you got room service, would that be your wait staff, or would that just be someone random?
No, that would just be someone random. I'm just talking about for like the signature dinings, like the dinner every night.
Okay, that's cool.
And then I know what we did. We went to the sail away party because it was time to leave the port and start sailing away. So we went all the way up to deck 14, and they have this giant like jumbotron and stage and pools and everything, and they have a little like song and dance show, and then they count down to when the boat actually leaves the port. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have Broadway style shows every night. So the first night of our voyage was it was actually the first night of our voyage was one themed to like the cruise. It was called like Set Sail on a Wish or something like that. And then the second night was The Little Mermaid, and the third night was Aladdin.
Okay.
And those were
Did you see all those?
I actually did not see any of them. My family saw all 3, but I didn't see any of them. There was too much other stuff for me to look at.
I was gonna say, what are you doing if you're not going to those shows? What are you doing for fun? Besides, obviously, like
God.
watching TV, because
Yeah,
you can do that anywhere.
There's a million things to do on the boat. So I mean, like I said, they have the Broadway shows. They have 2 full-scale movie theaters in there that are just free. That you just like look at the sign and see what's playing and just walk in and watch a movie.
Are those new released movies though, or like that are still in theaters, or are those like?
So it's a mix of it's all Disney and Pixar movies. It's a mix of like classic and new stuff, but also
Pirates of the Caribbean would be a good one.
Yeah. But also if there is a new release or one that's in theaters while you're sailing, it will be playing on the theater at some point. There's all of these little different like lounges to hang out in, like little bars. Like there's one themed to Princess and the Frog. There's one themed to Star Wars. There's, one themed to like Vikings.
Wow.
There's like this giant double-decker lounge that spans like 3 decks where they do like karaoke and like bingo and like all these like interactive games. There's pools and hot tubs and water slides and.
Did you go down like any of the water slides or anything?
So they have an aqua coaster there called the Aqua Mouse that we rode. Okay. That was really, really cool. It like the lift hill, I'd call it, is like enclosed and it's playing like different like Mickey cartoon shorts, and then the actual ride happens and it like goes all around the deck and it's clear so you can like see the deck and the ocean and everything.
Oh, that's cool. Does it go over the edge? I know some of the new rides goes over the edge a little bit to freak you out a little.
Yeah, it does go over the edge.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm trying to think back. I mean, I can't say enough great things about how much entertainment there was. Like, I feel like I didn't even scratch the surface of the ship. And like all of these different little spaces too have events going on from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. There's like little half-hour blocks of events of like trivia or learn to draw this character or game shows or learn to cook, like anything like that. Like it's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy to think that it's on like in my head it's like literally there's like I don't know why, but there's like casino slot machines or something, and then you're like cool, and then you're I don't know, and then you're just going and there's like a giant like a video arcade game and things like that, like all that fun stuff, and then you've got your water slides and your pools and whatever. Like that's just in my head, and then I'm just kind of mind blown with the whole free the 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I want a Mickey bar.
Yeah. No, it's the amount of activities and things there are to do is crazy. I mean,
was it busy on the ship though? Like, is it like, whoa, there's a lot of people here, or is it like pretty much spread out to where it's like, okay, this isn't too bad?
Honestly, there was one time that I felt, whoa, this is busy. Everything else was not bad at all. And the one time was on Pirate Night, on the Wish, they have something called Pirate Night, where like everything's themed to pirates and there's special shows and activities and meet and greets, and it culminates with fireworks at sea on the top deck. So the fireworks at sea were very busy because obviously everybody wants to see fireworks, but for the most part, everybody is spread out enough that you really don't feel all that crowded. Like even up on like the pool deck where they have like all the different pools and hot tubs and everything, none of them were ever crazy busy. I never had problems finding a lounge chair or anything. I never really had to wait in line for food.
Is there specific areas where you couldn't go since you had like do you have to have like a specific like first class ticket or something, or is it just literally anywhere you want to go, you can go anywhere?
So you can go anywhere except for if you they have adults only areas, obviously, so you have to be an adult. They also have kids only areas. Like there's a club, like a club for like kids who are like 3 to about 7, and then there's a teen club for like 8 to like 16. And then if you are concierge level, that gets you like special like lounges and stuff that obviously if you don't have a concierge ticket you can't go to. But that's it.
Right.
Other than that, you can go anywhere you want. You can go out on the front of the boat, the back of the boat. You can go play shuffleboard on the deck that has the lifeboats.
Nice.
I'm really trying to think.
What was your favorite spot on the boat to be at? Not inside.
Yeah.
Outside the boat. Like where at?
So I really liked up. So the pool and like all of the outdoor activities started on deck 10 and they spanned all the way to deck 14. So if you were up on deck 14, all the way at the back of the boat, there was this nice, quiet, adults only area that was like right in the sun with plenty of loungers and food and drinks and everything. That's where I liked it to be because you were close enough to everything, but also like you were tucked away where it was quiet. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite spot. I went up there at night a lot and just chilled. Because it's also crazy. It's also crazy too, but you can do whatever you want whenever you want. If you want to go up at 3 a.m. and sit up on the top deck, you can.
Yeah. Did you and Ray do the Titanic? You know, like the at the very front or whatever.
So we did go up to the front a couple of times, but we did not do that.
Okay. Did you see anybody doing it?
I didn't. No.
It'd be like, oh look.
Trying to think what else. Like we.
Oh man,
we
that's
did.
so cool.
There's
like,
plenty.
We need to have a CP rundown cruise.
Yeah.
Like, get together.
There's plenty
the rundown on fun cruise.
There's plenty of shopping to do. Like there's plenty of little like shops and stuff to go into. There's plenty of like they have a salon and a barber shop. I actually got my hair cut on the ship. So they have a salon and a barber shop. They have a spa. I went to the spa one day. I got a 90-minute bamboo massage.
Oh, how was that? Was that earth shattering, like mind changing?
It was awesome. So since it was my birthday, I got a gift card to the spa, not like from my parents or from Ray, but like the ship, like
wow,
like there was a little birthday card waiting for me in the room, and it said "Happy Birthday, enjoy this gift card, and go to the spa."
Okay.
So I walked in and I was like, I got a gift card. I don't know what I want, and then I ended up picking a bamboo massage, and then I went in and they had like a locker room, I would call it, but it had like, there was a steam room in there and showers and saunas, and they had like water and coffee and tea and everything to just relax. And then they came and got me and they're like, it's time for your massage. And I went and got my massage. I almost fell asleep. It was so relaxing.
You're like had the cucumbers, in your eyes, and you're just sitting around in your little, like your, what is it? The white robe or whatever. Just, eating a Mickey bar. It sounds really relaxing. Like
it was.
I've heard, like I've watched videos on YouTube and things like that just to kind of like get kind of used to it and stuff. And I've listened to a few podcasts, but I'm just like, oh, that would be really cool. Or it's also like really intimidating too, because it's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was very relaxing. I'm trying to think. So we've talked about the shows. We've talked about the lounges.
Did you feel the movement or anything while you were on the ship at all, or get seasick at all?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. So since nobody in our party, because Ray and her family, they hadn't been on a cruise either. Since none of us had ever been on a cruise, seasickness was something that we were genuinely worried about. So my mom read somewhere online that if you're worried about seasickness, the best place for your cabin to be is on a lower deck in the middle of the boat, midship, because they have the boat. When you go to book your stateroom, you can pick aft, which just means back of the ship, midship, or forward. So they said the best place is a lower deck, midship. So our cabin was on deck 6 out of 14 decks. There was one night. It was our second night. I'll talk about the ports in a minute, but we had just left Nassau. We had only been back on the water for like an hour, and we felt it, but it wasn't like a prolonged like 20 minutes. Oh, I'm going to get sick. It was literally for like 4 seconds. We felt like the boat move, and it was like, oh, the boat just moved. But that was it. Like the entire time we spent on the boat, that was it. It was that one little time. Yeah, so ports. So obviously, the longer the cruise you do, the more ports you go on. So we did a 3-night cruise that had 2 ports. Our first port was Nassau in the Bahamas. And let me tell you, we pulled in there and it was like party central, man. There were like 4 Royal Caribbean ships. There was a Carnival ship. There was an MSC ship. There was a Norwegian ship. And they were all like standing on the deck, like waving us in and everything.
And you're like, yeah, Kyle's just hanging out with his Mickey, his Mickey popsicle or whatever, and in his robe, like, yeah.
That night when we got ready to leave, the band Creed was just playing on the ship next to us. And their ship was shorter than ours. Like it was shorter, so we could look over and just watch. I didn't spend too much time off the boat in Nassau, just because I wanted to get off and explore, but also with that short of a cruise, I really wanted to spend as much time on the boat as possible. So I spent probably like an hour and a half off the ship. Ray made it off the gangplank, off the ship, about 50 feet into Nassau, and then said, I'm going back to the ship, and turned around and left.
Okay.
My parents were about the same, where they just made it slightly in and then turned around and left. So we didn't do much in Nassau. We didn't do any shore excursions. We didn't go to a beach or anything. The next day, however, was, like the port. We went to Disney's private island in the Bahamas called Castaway Cay. And oh my God, it's a beautiful, beautiful tropical island with swimming and snorkeling and white sand beaches and the same food policies that are on the boat. All the food's free. And biking, and it was beautiful.
You're like, where's Alex? Alex normally brings me my hamburger. Yeah. Who's Sam?
Well, no. So what was really funny was night 1 of our cruise, we got our wait staff, right? And the wait staff for the signature dining, they do work the quick services during the day. But it's not like they're at the one you're at, right? They're at one for the whole day. So I was getting breakfast. It was like 7 a.m. I was with Ray, and I just heard someone yell, "Kyle!" I turned around, and it was my waiter who was at one of the breakfast stations. So on night 2, we were at dinner, and they have a barbecue place on the island called Cookies Barbecue. They have 3 quick service restaurants on Castaway Cay that all serve the same menu. They have cookies, Cookies 2, and some other place. Our waiter was like, and tomorrow when you're on Castaway Cay, I'm going to be at Cookies 2, so you come and get food from me at Cookies 2. Like, he was just like giving us a hard time.
I just picture him like knowing exactly what you want. So even before you put anything in, he's like, "Here's your Mickey bar, sir," and
real. I mean, that's funny to think about.
Alex, every single time I see you, you better have a Mickey bar for me.
Well, it was funny too because our party, there were 8 of us. They'd pick up on our quirks, right? They'd like, they wouldn't make fun of you for it, but they'd give you a hard time for it. So like Ray's thing was she didn't want these fancy elaborate desserts. She wanted ice cream every night. So they would always give her a hard time. They're like, "Oh, and we know that you don't want real dessert. You want ice cream." And stuff like that. But on a real note, they were absolutely phenomenal with my brother, who is
that's awesome.
Who is not a challenge. Challenge is the wrong word, but he's very particular when we go out to eat. We like to bring his food out first. That way we can feed him when it's quiet. He will only eat certain things. His food needs cut up. Our waiter, after night 1, just like knew how to deal with my brother. Like that was awesome to me. Like they brought his food out early. They already had, he drinks milk. They had milk ready for him. His food was already cut up.
Chocolate milk on tap?
They do have chocolate milk on tap. Yeah.
Oh.
His food was already cut up when it came out because like they knew that
that's awesome.
They were gonna have to cut the food, so it was already like cut up and ready to go for him. So the level of service on the boat was just like 10 out of 10. Like it was fantastic. I did not encounter a single person who was rude or who looked like they were having a bad day. Everybody was like so happy and on their game. Like it was awesome.
It's good stuff, man. That's so freaking sweet. Like you're making me like want to look at cruises right now and definitely pick up on that list.
I'm trying to think if there's
sounds like it was a good time, like for real. Like
it was.
I don't know, like
it was so much fun.
I'd probably be like, I don't feel like having ice cream today. I'm actually want French stuck pie. Like, you're one of those. You like to change your, sorry.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They had
really
plenty
cool
of.
You had a good time.
They had plenty of entertainment too. Like there was always stuff to do. One morning, so something I didn't know is that like their entire schedule is on the app, right? So you open up the app and it's like, hey, we already know that you're on this ship and everything. Here's everything you can do today, and it has literally every single event in every single venue. One day it was like 500 events. It was like there are 500 things to do today.
Wow.
Like I said,
I don't even know.
We did a short cruise because we weren't sure if we were going to like it. My family loved it. I loved it. We're already thinking about booking our next one. One thinking about booking a longer one. But to me,
same ship or
different ship. Disney is in the process right now of building a new ship called the Treasure, which is the sister ship of the Wish that we went on. So it's still being built. It hasn't started sailing yet. It'll start sailing in December.
Oh, okay.
To me, though, I love theme parks. I really do. But theme parks aren't relaxing. They're stressful, right? There's so much planning. There's so much to do. You're on your feet all day. Like, they're so much fun, but they're not a vacation, right?
Ooh.
Like, cruising is a vacation.
Yeah.
It was so relaxing. It was so much fun. It was nice to just unplug, too. I mean, I know I didn't do much unplugging because I was texting you guys, like, constantly. But unplug a little bit.
But that...
And to know, too, that, like... you're in the confines of the ship, right? So, not that I would have to deal with this, but if you're a family and you have kids who like you wouldn't let go off on their own, like if you were in like a city or at a theme park, because anything can happen, right? Like they're like 10, 12, 13, like that age. They can go because you're confined to the ship. You can't get off. It's like I don't know. I had so much fun.
I would have been like, can I get tours of the of where the captain is? Can I see like how you steer the ship?
That was another thing I wanted to talk about. So they do have plenty of upcharge experiences too. One of them is a walking tour of the ship, where you go into like the engine rooms and you can see the bridge, and they walk you around and they show you like different areas, and that's really cool. Something I did was a bourbon tasting, like a legitimate like bourbon tasting. That was really cool. They had mixology classes. They had like it was. There's no shortage of things to do. So like
know how we do like a boys trip. This might need to happen.
Yeah, a cruise.
We're gonna do a boys cruise instead of a boys trip.
I would totally be down. Like I was in the same mentality as you of I really hope I'm not bored, but like.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I scratched the surface of what there was to do on that ship. It was insane.
Yeah. That's I hope you gave us a lot of detail, and I definitely asked hopefully a lot of nitty-gritty questions. If anybody has any questions, feel free to message the page, and Kyle will definitely write back to you because he was finally able to experience a cruise ship, and I'm really jealous right now.
Yeah. It was really nice to a lot of people when they go on cruises, you have to fly to Florida and, you pack travel days in. Nope. I was to the port in an hour, and then we got off the boat at like 7:30. I was home by like 9. Like it was so nice.
That's crazy. That's nice. Yeah. It's like right in your backyard. You're like, gonna go.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Good stuff. I know it was a lot longer than what we were expecting, but hey, you know what? We got 2 detailed experiences. One of obviously Cedar Point opening day, an opening weekend, and then one of Kyle's awesome first ever cruise.
Yeah,
this will be archived, and you'll always have this to look back on when you're on cruise like 50.
Hopefully. That'd be pretty cool. I know my parents are already looking at like our next big one, like as a family vacation. Me and Ray are looking to do another one because they do, they have different ships and they have different itineraries and different events. One of the ones they do is, at the parks, they do like the Halloween party and the Christmas party. They have like Halloween cruises and Christmas cruises. So we're looking at taking a Halloween on the High Seas cruise on the Disney Fantasy in October.
Nice. I'm going to be one of your family members and I'm going to join.
There we go.
I'm going to go with Kyle and experience it because, yeah.
All right, my friend. This has been fun, but it's getting late. All right, it's time to wrap things up this week. Be sure to tune in next week when hopefully Evan is back and he can give us his accounts of opening day and all the fun that goes along with it. Carsten, I think we're going to have to come up with something new to talk about because we've been talking about Top Throw 2 since this show began.
Yeah,
but that's all I got.
I was going to say, just make sure that you share this podcast with all your friends and make sure you rate us. And if you have any questions, make sure you message us on the Facebook page. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's going to do it. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.